Super Mario Bros. Franchise is made up of hundreds of games, cartoons, anime, manga, comic books, and shows that the vast majority of fans don't even know about. Not to mention the movies. Did you know about all the incredible details hidden not just in the latest teasers for the second movie, but across the entire franchise, featuring our short little plumber hero and his brother? For example, did you notice that when baby Mario and baby Luigi are innocently trying to wake up the T-Rex, right next to it there's a skeleton of some poor victim that was probably the monster's dinner the day before? Judging by the size of those bones, it was definitely a huge animal. But what could it be? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Now here's a fun fact that this teaser left between the lines and that many people have absolutely no idea about. Did you know that Mario and Luigi are actually twins? Yep. In the scene where Toad and Yoshi are running away with the two babies, if you look closely, you will notice that they are pretty much the exact same size and look identical, with the only difference being the color of their hats, which is green for Luigi and red for Mario. But the very first time this fact was revealed was in the game Yoshi's Island, which takes place in the past, where Kamek predicts that the two Mario brothers are going to cause trouble for him and tries to take them out while they are being delivered by the stork. And right at the moment the bird shows up, the game actually states that the two of them are twins. So, did you know about that one? Another really cool detail that practically nobody caught in that teaser where Bowser Jr. tries to take out Mario is that right at the very beginning. If you put the scene in slow motion, you will notice that behind the villain is his famous transport vehicle, the Junior Clown Car, which is so famous in the Mario games. Now tell me, had you noticed all these hidden details? Get ready, because where these came from, there is a whole lot more. If there is one character that everyone is super excited to meet, it's Rosalina. And in one of the teasers, we can see that she is telling a story to her Lumas in her castle, which in the games is known as the Comet Observatory. And if you look closely, you will realize that one of the little star creatures is using a cute little pacifier. This indicates that she must be only a few hundred years old, which is pretty young for a Lumali, who are normally thousands of years old. Another detail that very few people noticed is really cool for anyone who is a fan of the classic games, just like the directors of Super Mario Galaxy. At the very end of the trailer, when Yoshi licks Toad's hand, we can see that right behind the little mushroom head guy, there's nothing more and nothing less than a controller from the nostalgic Super Nintendo console. So you can tell that this movie is going to please the newer fans just as much as the older ones like me. Now tell me something, have you ever eaten a duck-shaped cake? Yeah, me neither. But if you and I take a quick trip to the Mushroom Kingdom, our chances go way up. That's because when Mario is about to get hit by Bowser Jr.'s axe, he uses a book from Peach's castle to protect himself. And if you pause at the exact right moment, you'll realize that the recipe he opens on that page is literally for a duck cake. I'm not entirely sure, but that must be a favorite among the little toads in the kingdom. Still talking about Bowser Jr., even though he's the villain, I have to say he's becoming one of my favorite characters in the movie. In Illumination, the studio producing the movie does not skimp on the rich details. That is exactly the case with the villain's paintbrush. If you look closely at the base of it, you will notice that right below the bristles, there's a red circle with the symbol of Bowser Jr. himself, complete with hair and everything. Seriously, that detail is just awesome. Now here is a piece of trivia that practically nobody who knows the Mario franchise remembers. Did you know that Peach was actually married once? So is she divorced or a widow? No, hold on, let us explain. In the Japanese movie Super Mario Bros., The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, which happens to be the first movie based on a video game in history, the ending is quite surprising. Mario is completely in love with the Mushroom Princess, and that's why he saves Peach, but she doesn't end up with him. At the very end of it all, she reveals that she already has a fiancé, Prince Haru of the Flower Kingdom. Throughout the entire movie, Haru had been transformed into a blue dog that was tagging along with Mario. Yep, and the movie also has another change that few people remember. The hero brother's profession is completely different. When the adventure ends, besides not getting the princess, Mario, along with Luigi, ends up going back to their job at a grocery store. Yes, they weren't plumbers in this anime. And that wasn't the brothers' only other profession, because before being a plumber, Mario's official job was a carpenter in the 1981 Donkey Kong game. Can you believe that? If you're enjoying this video, do the smart thing and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our future videos. And there's more. To make matters worse, in the sequel, Donkey Kong Jr. from 1982, Mario isn't the hero, but rather the villain of the game. That's because he keeps Donkey Kong locked up in a cage and attacks the gorilla son with whips and traps. It's the only game where Mario is officially the antagonist. Going back to talking a bit about Peach, she has gone through a lot of changes over the years. To give you an idea, the biggest point of confusion for the Mushroom Kingdom representative for many years was her name. For a long time, the princess had not one, but two official names, Princess Peach and Princess Toadstool. In Japan, she was always Princess Peach, but when the first Super Mario Bros. Was released in the US in 1985, Nintendo of America thought Peach didn't sound right for a princess and renamed her Princess Toadstool, which literally means a poisonous mushroom. This confusion lasted for years in the West, including in the cartoons. The official change only started in 1996 with the game Super Mario 64. In the letter she writes to Mario at the beginning of the game, she signs it in a brilliant way to get the audience used to it. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool, Peach. From then on, the name Toadstool was gradually dropped. Another piece of trivia about Peach is that she's actually changed her hair color twice. If you look at the old promotional artwork, you'll notice that Peach wasn't always blonde. First, the Mushroom Princess went through a redhead phase. In the original NES sprites and the first official illustrations, Peach had red hair and her dress was white with red details. She looked like an upside-down mushroom. Even in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show cartoon, she was a redhead. Then there was the brunette phase, but that was nothing more than a small test by Nintendo that ended up being quickly scrapped. And finally, we had the blonde phase with the pink dress that we all know, which only became the official, unquestionable standard starting with Super Mario World 1990/1991, defining the image we know today. Now, let's talk a little bit about the villain Bowser, or rather, his family. We know that Bowser Jr. will be the main villain of Super Mario Galaxy, and currently, he is Bowser's only son. But only currently, because up until 2002, the big villain of the Mario franchise had 7 kids, and Bowser Jr. wasn't among them. We are talking about the Koopalings, a group of Koopas who act as generals in the villain's army. Created in 1988, technically, they were Bowser's children until Nintendo changed their minds and retconned them to just be high-ranking members of the Koopa army. Besides that, very few people know this, but anyone who watched the American cartoons in the 90s, The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, might have noticed that Bowser's former kids, the Koopalings, had different names from the games. For example, Ludwig von Koopa was called Cookie, and Roy Koopa was Bully. This happened because the official names hadn't been decided in Japan yet when the cartoon was produced. And since Nintendo is from Japan, things need to be decided over there first. In one of the most recent teasers for Super Mario Galaxy, we see an iron ball with teeth, the Chain Chomp, wreaking havoc among the little toads. Except, right after that, Yoshi shows up and gobbles the little monster right up. So, the truth about the Chain Chomp that is tied to a chain and tries to bite Mario? It was actually inspired by a childhood trauma of Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario. When he was a kid, he was chased by a neighbor's dog that tried to bite him, but was yanked back by its chain at the very last second, right before it could reach little Miyamoto. Phew, good thing he ended up being okay enough to create Mario. One of the characters that many fans are rooting for to show up in Super Mario Galaxy, even if it's just in the post-credit scenes, is Wario, that character who is practically an evil version of Mario. The detail here is that it wasn't always like this. Actually, the two of them, Mario and Wario, are childhood friends. In an official comic book published in Nintendo Power magazine in the 90s, titled Mario vs. Wario, it's revealed that Wario wasn't evil by nature. Wario became a villain because Mario, unintentionally, bullied him while playing cops and robbers, where Mario was always the cop and Wario was the robber. Now for a fun fact within the Mario family, did you know there's a theory that says there aren't 2 brothers, but actually 3 Mario Plumber brothers? This third son would be named Giuseppe and would be older than Luigi and Mario. Of course, this isn't official and is just a theory created by fans of the franchise. But the weirdest part is that there actually is a character in the 2023 movie named Giuseppe. And on top of that, he's Italian, wears a mustache and suspenders, just like his 2 possible younger brothers. Could he really be Mario's long-lost brother? That we don't know, but we do know another piece of trivia about Giuseppe. In the 2023 movie, he was voiced by Charles Martinet, who is none other than the official voice actor for Mario from the release of the very first game in 1985 all the way to 2023 when Chris Pratt took up his mantle. Still on the topic of Mario's voice actor, we found a really fun fact about him. After spending almost 40 years voicing the short little plumber, we found out that Charles Martinet got the role completely by chance. He showed up late for the audition, and the director was already leaving. The director said, "Okay, you're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn. Talk until the tape runs out." Instead of doing a deep, stereotypical New York voice, Charles did the high-pitched, friendly voice we all know. He talked non-stop about spaghetti and meatballs until the recording tape ran out.
Like Bugs Bunny would say, that's all, folks. Or is it? We're leaving 2 more videos so you can keep watching with us. And trust me, they're worth it. See you later.